We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's today's news. On the 50th anniversary of Title IX, the rights of female athletes are again in jeopardy. Passed in 1972 to ensure that women had the same opportunities in athletics as men did, the Biden administration now wants to use Title IX to protect transgender athletes. The problem this creates is that those transgender protections come at the expense of female athletes. Allowing transgender individuals to compete against women gives them an unfair advantage as they still possess male attributes in terms of muscle mass that, despite any treatments, still means that women would be competing with biological males. The governing body for international competitive swimming has voted to restrict transgender competition in women's events starting this week. They will create a separate competition in which anyone can voluntarily compete. A vote to adopt the new policy passed with 71% approval of members during a world championship in Budapest. This allows transgenders to compete without infringing on the rights of female athletes. The new policy does allow transgender individuals who transitioned prior to puberty to compete as women. This carve-out has caused concern as children before puberty do not possess the mental capability to understand the far-reaching implications of the decision. Psychologists have understood this problem for a long time, which is why there are mental disorders that cannot be diagnosed until adulthood. A child's mind is not fully formed and bears many of the same characteristics as mental illnesses. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell told the Senate Banking Committee that a recession is possible. He said the central bank is committed to bringing down high inflation, which hit a four-decade high of 8.6% in May, through interest rate hikes and other measures. We need to get inflation back down to 2%, Powell said. We're using our tools to do that, Powell continued. He confirmed that inflation is not the fault of Putin and the war in Ukraine, as Biden has tried to convince people. He joined Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen in stating that Biden's blame of Putin is not the truth. Senator Elizabeth Warren said the Fed shouldn't raise borrowing costs so high it sparks mass layoffs, while supply chain problems continue to push prices higher. You know what's worse than high inflation and low unemployment, Warren said? It's high inflation and a recession with millions of people out of work. Warren's concerns are genuine, but may come too late, as layoffs have already started and unemployment numbers over the past several weeks have exceeded expectations. President Biden urged Congress to suspend federal taxes on gasoline and diesel through September to help Americans deal with high fuel prices. The taxes add 18 cents per gallon of gas and 24 cents per gallon of diesel. I fully understand that the gas tax holiday alone is not going to fix the problem, Biden said, but it will provide families some immediate relief. The plan faces tough opposition in Congress from both parties, economics, and even some of Biden's inner circle, who have questioned whether the move would help much. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Biden's big new idea is a silly proposal that senior members of his own party have already shot down well in advance. The gas tax holiday was previously brought up during the Obama administration, with President Obama dismissing it as a useless gimmick. While Biden continues to blame high fuel prices and inflation on the war in Ukraine, he is refusing to send the fighter jets that President Zelensky has requested. While Biden tried to frame the opposition to his feeble attempts to rein in inflation as not supportive of Ukraine, he has consistently refused to send the weapons Ukraine needs to definitively protect themselves and bring the war to a halt. The commanding general of the California National Guard is calling on U.S. and other Western officials to explore sending fighter jets to Ukraine as soon as possible, rekindling that long-standing request by Kyiv. In a statement to Politico, Major General David Baldwin also said sending Soviet-era MiG fighters in the near term is the best immediate solution. The European Council is expected to accept designating Ukraine as a candidate for membership in the European Union, the big early step in a long process to join the trading bloc. The decision comes at the start of a two-day summit of the leaders of the 27 EU countries in Brussels. The European Commission, the EU's executive arm, recommended approval of Ukraine's status last week, just 4 months after it applied, in a show of support as the country struggles to resist a Russian invasion. Ukraine has gone through hell and high water for one simple reason, and that's their desire to join the European Union. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said on Wednesday in a speech to the European Parliament. The EU's expected embrace comes as Russia intensifies its push to control eastern Ukraine. And that's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and wherever you find podcasts. We'll see you next time.